Welcome back to the Electric Show. Drama in Dallas, question mark? Report from Sean Sharif that Micah has, quote, worn thin with the Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs responding with some tweets. Who said that? And that's weird. Shaking my head. Brew, is Micah part of the problem or the solution in Dallas?
Wilds, all I got to say is this, or the first thing I have to say is I am so glad that unlike some people on this set, I did not pick the Cowboys to win the NFC East. I am so good, because it's already started.
Oh, okay.
Micah is not a part of the problem. He is the solution.
Oh, okay, we agree there. So why you got to take shots at me?
Well, I'm just saying, they're
NFL predictions?
Why is this happening?
I got lost on that.
No, but Nick's been singing the Cowboys praises
Are you
all
back?
He said the NFC East.
Yeah,
it's just that I don't believe in the Eagles because I don't believe in, what do you call it, an existential funk or something?
so supernatural funk.
Supernatural,
No,
sorry.
I mean, Micah, and you guys know, I'm not that big of a fan of him doing. It's a great podcast, but
is it?
I think it's fun for us. We get a ton of ammunition from it. It's not the greatest thing for the team, I don't think. A young guy who hasn't won yet, who's still building. It's not like he's Draymond Green, who's won rings and played his best basketball.
That's a good podcast.
All right,
Travis
so
and Jason.
even Paul George, who hadn't won, but he's a veteran at least.
These things.
And so I don't think that's great. But Micah, what is he? Other than that, there's no problem. He doesn't have any character issues. He's not in the police blotter and things like that.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you saw when this is going way back when Dez Bryant was up for his contract. You little stuff like this come out with Dak. Little stuff like this comes out. I think this is the Cowboys trying to get some leverage to maybe get the price down. And the fact that it's coming from a guy that interviews Jerry Jones every week on his radio show, 105.3, just is going to lend credibility to the report for Micah and for Trayvon Diggs and other Cowboys. They're going to be like, he talks to Jerry every week, so he must know he's
and even if and I don't think Sean would say, I don't want to speak for him, but that this came from Jerry, but he's connected to the team. He's been doing radio in Dallas for a dozen years, Sean Sharif. And so I do believe his reporting. I think it is nonsense, though. Does that make sense? Like, I think I believe that he is.
Someone said they're wrong.
But I think that this is, Micah the reason pro football teams have these giant staffs of coaches and support people are to help the actual valuable employees stay in the guardrails and make sure everything's all good. Because whenever in any field where you deal with 20-something-year-old celebrity millionaires with wild talent, they might have some eccentricities that you have to manage. That's fine. That's part of the deal. Micah Parsons is the same age as Bo Nix, who's going to be coming into the draft this year. He's 24-year-old, best player on your team. And he is, I agree with Brew entirely. Like, on the podcast, it's kind of weird because you can argue doing the podcast shows not great judgment, but when he does the podcast, he has shown amazing judgment because he does it every week during the season solo, and he has said nothing. That's a big problem. Trust me, we would have found it. We listened to that thing like a damn congressional record. And so I think sometimes I agree with Brew. The Cowboys do have an organizational reputation for, negotiating through the media, and I don't know if that's what this is or not, but then when we now get to this next story, who's their second best player, who doesn't have his contract yet, it kind of leads me to agreeing with Brew almost entirely.
Just to this is a cop-out answer of both. Micah did on the podcast when he was with CeeDee Lamb say that he needs to have more accountability. He lets things slide too often because we know we're good. That's about me. I want to change the culture. So,
but that's fine, and I think he's saying that as a player.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But overall, I mean, look, when they were winning championships, we know there were issues with that team.
But to me, has worn thin is like, to me, that brings to mind like Stephon Diggs stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God,
not
this
right.
guy is just a pain in the ass in the building. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to take a shot at Stephon, but that's clearly how the Bills felt about him. That's why they traded him. And I just don't get, I've never gotten that vibe or seen that, you know, like, here's the bad thing Micah Parsons did. I've never seen it.
If they got rid of him, which we know they won't, they're probably not even a playoff team.
Well, yeah, he's the best player on their team.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the offensive side of the ball, there's a report that there might be a holdout looming for CeeDee Lamb. The dynamic wide receiver is on the final year of his rookie deal and may miss the voluntary spring workout, which by literal definition is voluntary. Cowboys social media team doing their part, however, saying, hey, happy birthday. Is this a sign, the holdout looming, not necessarily the social media post, that the Cowboys are in trouble?
Well, here's where I think the Cowboys are in trouble. I have argued that they are a well-run team in regards to their drafting. I think that they are. I think they're good drafters, and I think that they are judicious in not splurging in free agency in ways that can really damage your team. Like, people look at why the Chargers had to do a little tear down and why the Bills had to do a little tear down. You can kind of pinpoint impulsive free agent decisions, like J.C. Jackson trading for Khalil Mack or the Von Miller deal. So the Cowboys have been good by not doing it. So in that regards, I think they're well run. Where I think they are poorly run is not recognizing these are the guys we are going to have to pay. Paying them earlier is always better. The only guy they have paid early is the one guy they shouldn't have, in Ezekiel Elliott, because it's a position that you don't want to pay at all. But they waited as long as they could to pay Dak, ended up paying him anyway, and that's what has now put them in this position where they can't tag him, they can't trade him, he has a massive cap hit. They could have paid CD a year ago. They didn't. Fine. I think their argument would be, well, Justin Jefferson didn't even get paid. Same draft class a year ago, so we'll wait. I'm telling you right now, though, Dallas, the price will, if you don't sign him before Brandon Ayuk signs, the price goes up, because he's got to make more than Brandon Ayuk. And if you don't sign him before Justin Jefferson signs, the price goes up, even though it won't be higher than Justin Jefferson, because he'll say, okay, I want, this much less than Justin Jefferson. You're going to sign him. So, like, I don't know what the weight is. I know why T. Higgins, same draft class, isn't signed. Because they're going to have to sign Jamar Chase, and they might not want to. You know what I mean? As good as T. Higgins is. You're going to sign him. The longer you wait, the more it costs you. That, to me, is an organizational mistake that they have consistently made.
And I agree with that, and I think it'd be smart for CD to hold out. Because, like you said, they're going to cave. Zeke held out, and ultimately, Jerry caved. Go way back to Emmitt Smith. He caved, so I think, look, the voluntary workout, no need to go to that. Don't, risk injury. I mean, not that you're going to get hurt there, but don't risk that. And then if training camp starts and you don't have a deal, sit out, because they absolutely, just like they need Micah, they absolutely need CD. And you're not going to be able to get a great read on Dak, theoretically, if CD's not there. So he's going to get signed, and if he holds out, he'll get more.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.